Roll the intro. It's the title. It's the show. Hey, what's that nigga gonna say today? Tap in, nigga. So, before that, man, gotta get on the bling. You feel me? Gotta get on that Fitbit watch to make sure that I don't go overtime. You feel me? Gotta get that ice, the pre-presidential Rolex. You feel me? Wait, what do we got out here, man? So far, I don't know if y'all can see, but it is 32,000 steps and 1,004 calories burned, because that is what is called not having a car and having to walk and run places. Then before you know it, you have done 23 kilometers. So that is very good, and burned 1,105 calories. So that's the first. It's a segue. It's my segue into the first step into having a better mindset or a better, healthier relationship with yourself, man. You gotta get your body right, man. You gotta get the fitness right, man, because your body is the first thing that you see when you look in the mirror. You know what I mean? Fine, you could argue it's your face or whatever, but in totality, it's your makeup. You know what I mean? How you are physically structured. And I'm not talking about being tall, short, fat, your ethnicity, where you're from, your race. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about the things that you can control. You can control what you eat. You can control how much you exercise. You can control how often you go outside. And these things are very good contributors into your mind state up here. And now typically something that I advise against is using any form of narcotic or any form of substance to feel better, because unfortunately that will lead to an unhealthy codependency of said substance. Whether you smoke a little bit of weed, whether you drink lean or you drink alcohol or whatever, these things over a long period of time accumulate. They accumulate. Then before you know it, dang, you're an alcoholic. Before you know it, man, you're off that lean every day. Before you know it, you're a weed head. You know, I do not want that for you. So the way that I deal with things when things are getting a little bit too much or things seem to just be going out of whack, man, is the baseline is exercise, man. You gotta get a good run in, a good workout session in the gym with the weights and everything. You can check my other videos for that if you need guidance on exercises to do. But then I think the most healthy contributor to my mental well-being would probably be Taekwondo. You know what I mean? And I recommend, especially for the young men who watch me, get involved in combat sports, man. Yes, it is scary. Yes, you might get hurt here and there. But overall, I've only been to like a boxing club and then Taekwondo dojang now. But generally speaking, like, people aren't there to hurt you, man. They're there to teach you. They're there to teach you how to fight, how to protect yourself. They're there to be your guide to a better, more well-rounded, physical, stronger version of yourself, and mentally as well. You know what I mean? Anytime I finish at the dojang or finish a good gym session, or after I've done a good run in, I feel refreshed, I feel rejuvenated, and whatever seemed like a big problem for some reason, now it's almost like I'm looking over that problem and I start seeing solutions. So the best number one step to a more healthier life would definitely have to be getting a lot of exercise in. Then, second thing I'd say would be to manage what you eat. Manage what you eat, man. And I'm not now saying go completely crazy, go to your cabinet and then remove all the Oreos and remove all the chips and put in, and then now you're a changed person. Nah, like, relax, man. You can still have your McDonald's, you can still have your Oreos, you can still have your Lay's and whatever, drink your beer, whatever, but just be conscious of like when you're consuming such things? Do you consume such things after the gym, or do you consume them before and then you don't feel like going to the gym anymore and then it's like, you know what I mean? Do you do them in excess or do you do them in moderation? Do you do them attached to a difficult task beforehand, or do you just feel like having ice cream and then have ice cream? Something I like to typically do for myself is, if I feel like having fast food, if I feel like doing a McDonald's, I'll put a challenge before. Excuse me. I'll put a challenge beforehand and then reward myself with that guilty pleasure. Be it a study session, be it a gym session, be it, I don't know, calling my brother or calling my mother or spending time with my friends, or something has to come before that, those bags of Lay's. Doesn't something have to come before that KFC? Because if you just not really need to go after it, then the problem with that is you'll develop an unhealthy habit of not earning unhealthy things, not earning your guilty pleasures. And then before you know it, you're fat, out of shape, and then your girlfriend leaves you for a guy like me, and that's terrible. So now we got diet out the way, right? And I think if you're watching this, you have a reasonable level of IQ. You know what to eat and you know what not to eat, man. 3 full-blown meals a day is going to help you sustain a very good physique over a long period of time, provided that you exercise rigorously and, regularly. Then third, man, since we've covered exercise and we've covered diet, third would just be your overall attitude. You know what I mean? Because words, man, words are super powerful. I heard Bruce Lee, he once said, words cast spells. That's why it's called spelling. You know what I mean? So within that context, it basically means whatever you tell yourself becomes your reality. So if you go around believing you're trash, you don't deserve this, believing that nothing's going to work out for you, you're super unlucky, then that's going to become like your 24/7 reality, because you're speaking that into existence. You're speaking that lower form of vibration. You're speaking that negativity into existence. And if you're speaking into existence, it'll become your reality. Then you'll find yourself being unlucky, unmotivated, depressed, anxious, and all these kind of things, because you've, with your mouth, confessed these things about yourself. But if you twist it, if you convert it, man, try it out for yourself, man. I don't know if it will work for you, but it's definitely worked for me, at least. To, like, when I'm feeling that low, when I'm feeling that, not being motivated, not really feeling it all the way, to just, have that mindset switch, man. To have that mindset switch of like, nah, man, today's going to be a great day. If anything, today's going to be the best day of my life. You know what I mean? I'm that guy. I'm tall, I'm handsome, I've got the muscles. You feel me? It's going to be a great day. Gonna get this education, gotta get this knowledge in. You know what I mean? Acknowledge your blessings. How many people can't go to school? How many people can't read and write? How many people can't speak English? If you're watching this, you probably have at least one of those things. But I'm pretty confident you have all three. So, man, just in terms of switching your mindset, speak positive things about yourself. Tell yourself you're amazing at this. Tell yourself you love yourself. Tell yourself you can do it. Tell yourself that you won't fail. Tell yourself that you're worth something. Tell yourself that you're valuable. You know what I mean? And that there are people out there who, even if it doesn't feel like it, even if it doesn't seem like it, even if you can't see it all the way, there are people who genuinely love you and genuinely care for you. And I feel like it's your responsibility to try and be the best version of yourself for those people. You know what I mean? And then before you know it, you have a mindset coming together. And then, not to repeat myself, but the last point, right? Because you said it's going to be exercise, it's going to be diet, and then it's going to be speaking positive affirmations to yourself. The last one would have to be gratitude, man. You have to be grateful for everything that you have in this life, because if things were switched up even a little bit, dog, man, you would 100% wish your old problems back. If I were to present you with the average person's problem, imagine the person who today heard that their loved one passed away. Imagine the person today who heard that they have 6 months to live because they have stage 4 cancer. Imagine the kind of person who has grown up in an abusive household, no mother, no father, and just has to figure out life in the streets. You know what I mean? When you look at it from that perspective, we have so much more to be appreciative about. You know what I mean? On my runs to my dojang, I see homeless people. And you know what shocks me the most is that these aren't old people. These aren't people in their 80s who perhaps the pension money didn't come through and then now they're stuck in a situation. Nah, these are people my age to maybe, let's say, 35. These are young. This is the youth of South Africa out here on the streets, and you're not. So even if you perhaps don't have a lot of money, even if perhaps you can't afford certain things that you want to afford, do sit back and think, man, dog, I ate today. I got clothes today. Maybe you have a job. Maybe you can study. Maybe you can have a job and study at the same time. You know what I mean? So just reflect on the small things, man. You have eyes, hands, you can see, you can hear. Some people were born deaf, or as time progressed, lost their hearing, or born blind, or as time progressed, lost the ability to see. Some people were born without limbs, without legs. You know what I mean? I wonder if y'all seen that guy with no arms and no legs who climbed like a mountain. Did he climb Everest? I don't know if he climbed Everest. But I'm sure if you type it in somewhere, dude with no arms or legs climbs mountain. I think we've all seen that picture, dog. You know what I mean? He's doing that with no arms, no legs. When you do, you have this blessing of being mobile, you know? So appreciate the small things. Now, to just give an overall recap of at least a step-by-step guide to better mental health, a better mental state. Number one, get your body moving, get that blood flowing. It's going to pump dopamine, endorphins, all that good energy inside of yourself. Especially if you outside, I recommend taking a run, especially now the weather's getting better, at least if you're in South Africa. The sun's shining, everything. Get that vitamin D, you're going to feel better. Second is diet. Make sure that you're eating your fruits, your vegetables, 3 meals a day. You know, have a solid breakfast, solid lunch, solid dinner, because sometimes you can feel depressed or anxious and things when you're not eating properly. Then, second last one would then be just your mindset, man. Stop speaking down on yourself. Stop getting hard on yourself for the mistakes that you make. You're a human being and you're growing. Making mistakes is part of the journey. You know what I mean? Then, last but not least, it's got to be being grateful, man. You got to be grateful for the body that God gave you, grateful for the family that God gave you, grateful for having Wi-Fi and electricity and electronic gadgets and a bed and maybe a school bag. You know what I mean? Because these things at the end of the day are blessings. You know, if I were to say, I'll take all of your shoes away from you today, and you'll have to walk the rest of this week barefoot, you'd miss your shoes pretty bad, wouldn't you, bro? So even if you don't got the slickest Air Force One, slickest kicks and all that, be grateful that you got something on your feet. Anyway, that ends today's episode of It's a Podcast, the place to go when you're feeling alone. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. Know that you're amazing, you're loved, you're valuable, and you're far more important than you ever believe. Neighborhood, I'm out. Have a great day. Follow your dreams. See you in the next video.